Informational,
fun,
timely,
relevant.
That's what people are saying about A to Z in real estate. 30 minutes packed with great info for home sellers, buyers, and investors. And now let's welcome your host, Lizzy Cohen.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to A to Z in real estate. I am Lizzy, and I am delighted to be here today, this beautiful Saturday, the 16th of January. And the year is moving rapidly on us. And we're here to talk about real estate and everything that real estate means to all of us. And to do that, I have here Shawn Matthews. He's my co-host. And welcome to the program, Shawn.
Thank you, Lizzy. Thank you. Looking forward to it. Happy Saturday to you.
Yeah.
We'll talk real estate A to Z. And, I guess we'll introduce the show a little bit, talk about things that we're going to go ahead and cover.
Yeah, we're going to be here every Saturday from 9:30 to 10. And because it's only half an hour, we're not going to be taking calls from the audience, but we want to hear from you. We want to know what you're thinking, answer questions, offer resources to you, information. And so we are going to rely on our Facebook page, which right now we're working on it. This is a brand new show. We're working on our new Facebook page, but we want you to interact with us via Facebook. And potentially in the future, we will be able to do a 1 hour long program. And in that case, then we will make it completely a call-in show where people can call and talk to us directly.
That would be great.
Yeah, but for now, it's what it is, and we're excited. It really is an honor for us to be here talking about what we love, the passion of our hearts, and sometimes it doesn't even feel like work.
It's a gift. It really is. Every day is fun. I love that we do something different every day.
Yes.
There's no 2 days the same in real estate.
That's exactly right. And meeting new people, every transaction is different. Mm-hmm. And you earn friends for life.
Really?
It has been my experience.
I think people find their local real estate agent as a resource.
Yes.
They buy a home, but for 15 years, they've got questions, and they're looking for referrals and different things. So it really is a friendship. I've gone to a lot of birthday parties and watched children grow up, and it's the best part of our job.
It really is. It really is, and it makes a difference. The level of service that different realtors bring to the table. And we're going to talk about in an upcoming show what it means to be a realtor, because and like some people say out there, a realtor. We're not realtors, we are realtors.
Realtors.
And we're going to talk about what that means and what value we bring to the table as professionals in the real estate industry. And whether people are thinking about buying or selling or investing in real estate, we want to be that resource for them. We are here to bring information and resources for the community.
Right on.
So we're very excited. Now, Shawn, how long have you been in the real estate industry?
So I was first licensed in 1988. So 32 years, I've been at it. So I started right out of college at 21 years old,
Wow. And what drew you into the industry?
Well, I always had an entrepreneurial heart,
Yes.
and
I can see that.
I love the before and after, before Home and Garden, and those programs came out. I love to see things fixed up and, put it all together in real estate. And actually, I was visiting some friends at a wedding in Florida. And one of them was a realtor, my mother, and I rode along with her. I did a ride along, to kind of see what transpired throughout the day, and I was hooked. I really said, how do I get into this? And took a real estate course, passed an exam, and was pushed into some training, and away I went.
That's awesome. And what are you doing right now as a realtor?
Sure. So, now I'm a broker manager of the Coldwell Banker Kinard office here in Cleveland. So we're considered a small or medium office. We have 25 agents that work out of the Cleveland office. we have 2 franchises, so I'm actually the broker of the commercial franchise and the residential franchise. So, we train people, we do escrow management, all kinds of marketing. I'm still what they call a competing broker, so I still work, I still meet with folks and counsel them about, real estate. I don't really interfere with a lot of my agents. I'm kind of on that outer, limits of working with people doing commercial and multifamily and things like that. But I really, enjoy marketing properties, training new agents, managing the office and helping it grow.
That's awesome. Well, and of course, I'm asking you these questions for the benefit of the audience.
Right.
Because I work.
Don't you know?
I know exactly what you do.
Right.
You are my broker.
Okay.
And I got to tell you that as a competing broker, you're probably the best competing broker, because I can tell you, I can see your desire to empower the agents to do the best they can. Run with it. Here's what I know, giving the tools, giving the information to your agents. And so it really doesn't feel like you are a competing broker, even though you are, and more power to you.
Yeah, and I say it keeps us, realistic of what your job is. You're coming to me with problems. I have them too. Concerns, questions. Everybody's kind of going through the trenches the same way, and I just think it helps you be, more on point. If you are doing a few transactions throughout the year. So I understand the timelines and lenders and appraisals and all the things that we're hit with throughout the transaction.
The process and the challenges and what's going on out there, what the consumers are thinking, what the consumers are doing. That's so important.
Definitely.
Well, in our show, we are going to talk about a little bit 2020, what happened last year, which was a very interesting year, to say the least.
Right.
And then we're going to do an outlook, an overview of a forecast of what we think it's going to happen this year. But before then, we're going to take a 30-second pause here, a commercial pause, and then we'll be right back.
Okay, very good.
All right.
Coldwell Banker Kinard Realty, serving the local real estate needs since 1974, offering residential, commercial, and land purchase. The market keeps hitting new highs and inventory is low. Maybe it's time to check what your current market value is. Talk to the professionals at Coldwell Banker Kinard. Let them guide you on your next move. Coldwell Banker Kinard, we never stop moving. Leave your mark on the world of real estate. Call them at 423-476-5532. Located 2650 Peerless Road, Northwest.
All right. Hey, welcome back, to Real Estate Talk, A to Z. Lizzy, before we get started, what about you? When did you get into real estate?
Well, it was back in the year 2001.
Okay.
And I remember distinctly because that was
9/11.
Yeah, and I remember being at the office, when that happened and how shocking that was. But yeah, I got my first license in Denver, in Colorado. I worked there with a local company there, and very quickly got involved with the Latino community. I'm from Latino descent. Okay. And had a radio show in Spanish.
Oh, okay.
And I got into real estate because when we got our first home, I had a horrible experience. I was nervous the whole time.
Sure.
The gentleman that was helping us, the realtor, I guess he assumed that we knew what we were doing.
Right.
We were a couple of two professionals in an entirely different field.
Right.
My background is in media. So we didn't know what questions to ask, and it was very intimidating. We went to the closing table, and we were just looking at each other like we hoped that
we're doing the right thing.
The right thing, because the realtor assumed that we knew, and it was our first home, and we were so nervous. So I decided, look, I'm going to learn about real estate, and of course, it could be a very financially rewarding career, and that's basically how I got into it. But my background really is in media.
Wow, and I agree. You really have to educate people throughout the process.
Yes.
I hear it a lot as the managing broker. I didn't know about this, or I wasn't told about that. So we really need to set expectations throughout a transaction. So that's important. So now what are you doing in real estate?
Well, I am working with you.
Awesome.
I'm working in Coldwell Banker, Kinard Realty, and I just joined. And it has been one of the best decisions that I've made in my life as far as my career. It's a perfect fit for me. It's a solid company, a lot of experience, and most importantly, the agents in that office, in that particular office, they're just precious people. I'm very, very thankful to be there.
Awesome, awesome, and it's good to hear. I felt the same way. When I came on board, I interviewed with Lloyd Hamilton. Long time, pillar of the real estate community here. And when I met with him, and I got that same feel, when they recruited me, and I sat down with him. He's passed and gone on, and we've merged with Coldwell Banker Kinard Realty since then. But it was really, I guess, that feeling, that gut feeling that you have when you go somewhere that this is a good place.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad you found it that way too. So people can learn a little bit more about us. I guess, what do you do in your free time? What do you do for fun?
Well, right now, I'm trying to take on the cello.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, taking music classes, and I like hiking, if it's not too cold outside. And
Right.
what about you? What do you do for fun?
Same thing. This is Outdoor USA, right?
Yeah.
So I have a couple of kayaks,
Oh, wow.
Wow, one time we did a career building thing, at the company, and we did the middle Ocoee whitewater rafting.
Oh, wow.
And we took a group of the guys and gals from the office, and we went, rafting, and, part of that trip, they toss you out of the boat, and you've got helmets on, and
Wow.
they've got to pluck you back out of the water. So
High adrenaline.
Oh, definitely, definitely, and it was really fun, and people still talk about it today. So I have a couple kayaks. I really enjoy that. A little bit of fishing, for sport, and then I'm a huge bicycle enthusiast, so people call me the crazy bike guy, so, in the evenings after work, 8 o'clock, I'll still ride,
Good for you.
I'll suit up and,
It's great workout.
Yeah, put some lights on, and, in my neighborhood's pretty level, so I can ride around. So, biking's a big thing, and, real estate, you meet a lot of people, you make a lot of friends.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
It's interesting, I like to, meet with past customers and see what they're doing, and, just checking in with people, like we said, with the strange year we've had, reaching out and calling people and asking what they're doing, and just communication. So, really, my hobbies, I used to sing in a men's choir, and I want to get back into that. So,
That
we
is
just, just enjoy life,
Absolutely.
live life to its fullest.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I guess we were going to talk a little bit about 2020.
2020.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Absolutely. Yeah. It was an interesting year, to say the least.
Definitely.
Very difficult for all of us. And I mean, all of us means the entire world.
yeah.
No one would have seen it coming.
Right.
And wow, what a year it was.
Right.
I do see silver lining, in all of our lives. We've learned a lot, but it was very difficult.
Right.
But when it comes to the real estate industry, we were very pleasantly surprised as to what was going on as a result
Right.
of the difficulties.
Who knew? People, cooped up at home for 2-3 weeks. They really dove into real estate.
They sure did.
And they started looking at those four walls that, they were confined to, so to speak. And a lot of people, as March and April rolled on, a lot of people said, I need a home office.
I need a bigger space.
I need a bigger space. My kids are going to be homeschooled now. I need a swimming pool. And just the business started to roar.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Nobody saw it, but it turned out to be our best year. And our company's been around since 1974. So to say that year over year that was an incredible year. So I'm cautious about that, because there's people hurting. That didn't have it as well as we did, and we look out for them. We definitely are concerned about all the people, and I look back and say there was a turning point. We went to Zoom meetings for a while, and people were working from home. And it was a very different picture, but we were able to handle it.
Yeah, and one of the driving forces for the increase in real estate activities and sales and it's the fact that the interest rates have been a record low.
Amazing.
Home interest, mortgage interest rates. And of course, the people that were able to maintain their employment started thinking, I'm going to take advantage of this. Money is cheap right now, and yes, let's go for that bigger home.
Right.
I need a home office, and that's part of the reason why we saw the increase. But I know you have some numbers there. We don't want to bore everybody with numbers, but just interesting.
Yeah, and I'll pull out a couple of things, because we look back, year over year, statistically. So, we're all members of a multiple listing, association. So, as tradespeople, we throw around a lot of words that some consumers might not understand. But our local board of real estate is our, our hub where we supply, our listing data. And we offer it for cooperation. We syndicate it out to all the other realtors to help us try to sell those properties. So we get some statistics from them. We look at the year over year. And it's interesting, as a broker manager, I look back at what are some of the hot points. What's the best price point to be in. And one of the things that we see is 200 to 250,000. Of course, 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes. That's one of them, and that's our number one selling product. Right now for units when we talk about unit numbers. And year over year, we've seen about an 11% increase, in value, so it's gone from this to that, which is about 11%. So that's really incredible, to see that. Some of the other things that stand out to me, are the number of transactions, how much they've increased through these times, so year over year, this little board went from, 900 million, in sales to over $1 billion, in sales. So really, statistically, when you look at the years over year, it's impressive to see.
What about the home appreciation?
Yeah.
What was the percentage through October last year?
Well, and that's just it. So the stats, we're always looking back, to see those statistics, and we've seen. And we're many counties, so Cleveland proper, we handle 5 counties. So, it's hard to pinpoint, if we were just quoting Cleveland, or Bradley County, there's different percentage points that we see. And what happens if we get a little skewed because we cover Polk County and Ray and these other areas. So statistically, we're up at least 5.5%, year over year. Those numbers are actually much higher in certain pockets.
On a national level too.
Yeah. And definitely on a national level. So, that's why we're careful where we pull those statistics from, but they're very good, very strong.
Yeah. Well, and I speaking of statistics, I was looking at the CoreLogic Consumer Price Index for homes, and wow, through October, the national increase of appreciation of homes was 7.3%.
Right.
And that's as compared to the year before, 2019, that was only 4.2%. So almost double. And that's really remarkable when everybody was thinking the opposite. With the with the virus and presidential elections, we're going to be at a stall here. We're not going to be having any sales. Everybody's going to be waiting for what's going to happen.
Right.
But interestingly enough,
it was the opposite.
It was the opposite effect.
And we're in a position right now where inventory is so tight.
Right now.
And who knew, in 2020 that there would be so many multiple bids, on properties. That was one of the things that we've seen, and we had to use Excel spreadsheets, and this offer has this, and this one has this closing date, and it was
bidding wars.
Bidding wars. It was really insane at times to see it. And we're caught up in it. It's day to day for us. But imagine the consumer that hasn't sold a home in 20 years. And we tell them, well, if you put your house on the market at 4 o'clock, there's going to be people that want to see it every hour until 8 p.m. and all day tomorrow. And it's hard for them to get their heads around that. Buckle up. It's going to go fast. And
even for us.
Oh, sure.
Because
sure.
you booking showings for buyers. you see, depending on the property and the location, you see that every 30 minutes you
Right.
have a showing for
Yeah.
this property. And it's hard to find a slot to come with your client to show this property. So we're having to tell buyers, look, if you like this property, you go ahead and make an offer, because it may not be, may
Right.
not be there by the time we get to the office.
And we're not pressure people, but
Right,
we're
right.
trying to educate them and say,
Mm-hmm.
look, this is a fast market. This is what happens, and here's how to be competitive. And it's an education, setting that that standard of what you might see, throughout this transaction. And
Right.
I'm working with a young couple. Last night we looked at a property in Chattanooga, and they said, there were 6 people here before we got here, and
Wow.
there's people waiting in the driveway after we leave. And it wasn't even a house they liked, but they really, there's just so few out there. They
Yeah.
really wanted to look at it.
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
and now they're in tune with it. When they saw the second house, they're like, we know if we want to buy this house, we should do it, tonight.
Tonight,
And,
yes.
and they're protected, right? They have an inspection period. It has to appraise. We have all the things in there to protect them, but it's just something that we've seen in 2020 that's never, in 30 years, I've never seen that. I've heard about it
Yes.
in other markets
Yes.
as I've traveled for different positions, but I've never seen it like what we saw in 2020.
It was really amazing. And what about moving forward? Let's talk a little bit about the forecast for 2021.
Mm-hmm.
What's happening with the interest rates, and what kind of home sales we're looking at, prices, consumer confidence.
Mm-hmm.
What is your take on that?
Well, and we see what that is still very strong. Today, to this minute. I always rely on experts.
Absolutely.
So like National Association of Realtors, their economic forecaster is Dr. Lawrence Yoon.
Yes.
And he puts out a
A
paper
report.
and a report.
Yeah.
And he's, the title of it is Plenty of Reason for Optimism in 2021. So he's a very steady hand. If you ever see him in person, he doesn't get excited or jump up and down. He's a numbers guy. They're very,
Even keeled.
Even keeled, for sure.
Yeah.
And, he's predicting, a 10%, rise in 2021. So, statistically, it's just going to keep chugging along. Now, we're not looking to see the same increase. They're saying that it's going to increase modestly, but not as much.
Is that a 10% in home sales or in home appreciation?
They're saying that's going to be in prices, in 10% in prices. And then they're saying the number statistically, we might not have the inventory to set that record year over year. So, again, we're reaching out to everybody we know. If you're thinking about selling, we're at one of those top of the curves where values are really, really extremely competitively high. So, it's something, when they talk about supply, the absorption rate, how many homes do we have? How many months supply do we have? And I've seen statistics bounced around that we have like a 1.6, month supply of homes.
Which is very, very
Very low.
low.
You would hope for 6 months supply, even 4 months it would be, better. So to recover from that, that supply problem, it'll take months, and there's going to be a surge in building. They said this will be the biggest year for building of new construction. So just like those low interest rates that have fueled the market, we have to throw some wood on there too. We have to build some houses and produce some new units.
Yeah,
so
it'll be a good year for builders and developers. And again, it goes back to a very interesting information, because in my opinion, it goes back to that the sentiment right now that there is political instability in a lot in our country, unfortunately. A lot of homeowners are holding on to their property, waiting for things to settle down. But at the same time, that's happening. That's why the inventory is so low. Very few people are really serious about buying, even though they know they can get top dollar right now.
Where do they go?
Exactly. Here's the thing. On the other side, on the buyer's side, you have people saying, man, this is the time to buy, especially people, first-time
Right.
buyers that they don't have a house to sell because money is so cheap. They can get 2-3% interest rates, and that creates a tension right there for the buyers, for the sellers. But it's definitely an opportunity for new construction.
You're right. And one of the quotes from his report is it's cheaper to own right now than to rent. Because rents are so high, that home ownership, you can be $300 less, to buy that home versus rent it. So if that continues, of course, those first-time home buyers are going to want to jump into the market, save that money, and start to build equity.
And own their own property.
Sure,
yeah.
sure. So, looking 2021, the GDP, was off because, we had shutdowns and different things that happened. Mm-hmm. So, it's going to show a negative, for 2020 when everything settles. But, Dr. Yoon is predicting that we'll see a 4% GDP, for 2021, which is, crazy because we've been around this business a long time. You shoot for 3, and
3 is a pretty good year.
Yeah, so they're going to say it's going to come roaring back. It's always dictated by housing. Housing is one of the biggest factors that control that. It's a huge, consumer, purchase. So
yeah,
and that's the other side of it that we see. When you sell a new house, or a house, people are buying blinds and carpets and,
it
refrigerators.
Activates the whole economy.
The trickle down from it is amazing. So, I've seen statistics that say every new construction house puts 200 people to work, for the entire time that house is being built. So there's just a huge reverberation from those new housing starts.
Absolutely.
So, in Cleveland, we've seen a lot of big builders come in. Horton, came in, D.R. Horton, and they're a large builder, and you see subdivisions go up very quickly. The demand is huge.
The demand is huge.
Pratt, I see subdivisions in 1 year. They were a field, and now they're fully built out. In a year's period. So it's amazing, what's transpired in the last year.
It really is. We're going to take another commercial break real quickly, and then we come back and we'll wrap up the show.
Beautiful.
Okay.
All right.
Have you seen the new Coldwell Banker North Star signs? Coldwell Banker Kinard Realty has been serving the East Tennessee and North Georgia area since 1974 with 5 offices in Cleveland, Tennessee, Dalton, Ringgold, Cartersville, and Calhoun, Georgia. With the latest technology, CBKR's 145 licensed agents are ready to serve all your real estate needs. Call today, 423-476-5532. They offer residential, commercial, and land and property management. Call and speak to one of their licensed professionals today.
All right. So, talking about residential, I guess we shouldn't leave out commercial, you know. So one of the things, the statistics that we're looking at in those year-over-year sales, commercial real estate really slowed down a little bit, throughout 2020.
It sure did.
There was a few units less in transactions, and people ask me a lot of questions about commercial, and we point to the positives that we're seeing there, with the new industrial park off of exit 20, Spring Branch.
Yes.
They
What's happening over there?
Well, the chamber put out the letter, about the first sale that they did in there, and I guess that was. Let's see, that was the Project Hawk, but they said that, Canon Automotive Solutions, purchased about 40 acres in there, and they're building an auto parts, supply business there.
That's great for the local economy here in Cleveland.
It really is.
It really is.
And activity breeds activity. That project just needed the first person to kind of go in there and turn a shovel of dirt, and now it's going very quickly. But we've been watching that since 2017, and now you see the fruits of all the work.
Fruition.
Yeah. So congratulations to the chamber and solidifying that first contact. First of many. Everybody's going to want to be at that exit. Look what VW did for Hamilton County. The projections are between 7,000 and 10,000 jobs that one company did.
That one company.
And it continues to go on now that they move into electric cars and different technologies that are out there. So.
So the outlook for 2021 is optimistic.
It's optimistic, and we're there's some decline in office space. You know, people are finding that they can work from home, you know, so you're going to have to see some of those businesses repurposed. You know, some of the larger malls are struggling a little bit to keep tenants, but I'm seeing a lot of people get creative, you know, on that side.
And that's good.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely stretching everybody's creativity and contingency plans and whatnot. So, believe it or not, we're pretty much done with our time. And it goes quick. We just want to remind people that we will be here every Saturday from 9:30 to 10. And we're working on our Facebook page right now for you guys to be able to contact us. But for now, we're going to give our contact information for those of you who want to reach out and have questions or comments. My contact information is 423-414-1002 is my cell phone number. Again, 423-414-1002. And I'm Lizzy Cohen. And Shawn, go ahead and give yours.
Sure. You can reach me, again, easiest way is direct, 423-284-3233. That's a cell phone, you know, you feel free to call, text. Again, 423-284-3233. We're at Coldwell Banker, Kinard Realty, right on Peerless Avenue. We've been there for a long, long time, and we plan to be here for, you know,
for many more years.
Many more years.
Well, that's right. Well, thank you all for tuning in today. We treasure your attention and your comments. Reach out to us, and we will be seeing you next week, right here at 9:30. Mix 104.1. You all have a great rest of the weekend.
Coldwell Banker Kinard Realty, serving the local real estate needs since 1974, offering residential, commercial, and land purchase. The market keeps hitting new highs and inventory is low. Maybe it's time to check what your current market value is. Talk to the professionals at Coldwell Banker Kinard. Let them guide you on your next move. Coldwell Banker Kinard, we never stop moving. Leave your mark on the world of real estate. Call them at 423-476-5532. Located 2650 Peerless Road Northwest.